ko yung ayaw na malipat siya. He is a good officer. He's an honest one. And hindi niya kasalanan kung may magharana sa kanya sa birthday niya. Siyempre may mga merienda yan, may pagkain. Alang-alang naman kainin nila pati yung mask. Kita ka, nung birthday ako, walang kumanta sa akin. Ako lang mag-isa. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to me.
Awesome.
Good morning sa inyo. Nakantaan pa tayo ng Pangulo.
Uy, yun yung kanta ni Presidente, pero kagabi meron pang intermission number.
Anong intermission number?
Pero pa silang pinatugtog
May dance
na
number?
song. Hindi naman. May pinatugtog sila na song right after mag-discuss isa-isang presentation of the cabinet secretaries and then the president talk, address the public. Before he ends yung public address, meron silang pinatugtog na song
Labamba?
about fight. Hindi naman. Parang it's a composition daw of a friend now that we have a crisis. So parang, meron pang song number ng ng 11:30, 11:40 ng gabi nag-start eh. But it ended mga around 12:30.
Di ba normally, ang ganyan nangyayari pag may surprise birthday party?
Oh.
Bago mag-alas 12. Teka, pinag-uusapan nga pala. Ang binabanggit ng Pangulo kanina, yung kanyang soundbite was about yung mañanita.
Yes, ni General Sinas.
Yung controversial na mañanita ni General Sinas kung saan medyo napuna si General Sinas. Hindi lang ng mga kritiko pero pati ni Interior Secretary Eduardo Anyo.
Yes,
na medyo misplaced data yung priorities natin.
Correct.
Dahil you're enforcing quarantine but at the same time we don't appear to be obeying the quarantine.
And after that incident, meron actually utos si ES Medialdea to investigate General Sinas.
Oh, may pending,
That's
diba?
aside from the case na final ng PNP. Tapos ang pending kasi ngayon, yung after lumabas yung result ng initial investigation and ibibigay yung initial result dun sa Malacanang, sila ngayon yung magde-decide whether to file administrative case against General Sinas or not. But it seems nakakampi ni General Sinas si Presidente kasi wala silang balak na tanggalin from NCRPO si
Kasi kung
General
admin
Sinas.
case, that's up to the executive already on whether or not to
Yes.
pursue that admin case. Not unless somebody files with the ombudsman. Then that's a different story altogether. So, yun. But at the same time naman kasi, it's not really that surprising that the President would defend General Sinas. Kasi even the President himself has been questioned for what he did during the MECQ. Itong weekend, nung first day ng MECQ sa Metro Manila, among other places sa Pilipinas, lumipad yung Pangulo from an MECQ area, meaning yung NCR, going to Davao City, which is a GCQ area, which under the guidelines is not supposed to be allowed. Pero yun nga, sabi ni Mayor Duterte, the President is what she would call a frontliner, and frontliners are allowed to
Travel.
fly in and out.
Yes. For as long as meron silang official business dun sa area na pupuntahan. So that's what we're waiting, kung ano yung official business na pinuntahan ni Presidente dun sa Davao.
Wala bang binanggit kagabi?
Wala pang binabanggit kagabi.
Kasi we also ask our correspondents sa Davao City nung kahapon, nung Monday, kung ano yung balita dun sa pagdalo ng Pangulo dun sa Davao City nung weekend, wala pa silang makalap na balita.
Oh, yun.
Dun
So
sa
naghihintay
nangyari.
pa rin tayo kung ano yung naging activity ni Presidente dun.
Well, anyway, points of interest, dami tayong kailangan pag-usapan yan.
Oo, madami.
COVID-19 among other things, testing, whether it's mass testing, clinical testing, epidemiological testing, among other things, and yung ABS-CBN franchise. So medyo siksik po tayo ngayong umaga. At marami silang nilalap ngayong umaga na interview, na matitindi mga, so hopefully matuloy mga interview
Kasama
natin.
natin ngayong umaga.
Kasama si former Senate President Juan Ponce
Yes.
mamayang mga alas 10 ata ng
To
ng
talk
umaga.
about the ABS-CBN franchise and other issues.
Oho. Hoy, sorry, napapahaba ko ito namin. Teka, ipasok natin ang ating unang guest. Sa punto pong ito, makakausap natin si Ginoong Joey Concepcion, ang Presidential Advisor for Entrepreneurship. Meron po silang initiative para dagdagan ng 7,000 ang COVID-19 testing capacity ng bansa. Ay, hindi lang ata 70,000 eh. Good morning, sir. Secretary Joey, thank you for joining us.
Good morning, Ed.
Opo, kasama po natin
Maricel.
si Maricel Halili. Sec Joey, ano po, we are talking about Project ARC, itong initiative ng private sector, yung antibody rapid testing kits na I understand na ipasok natin ng malaki-laking bahagi nung nakaraang 2 araw. I think mga 400 testing kits ba? 400,000 testing kits? Tell us about it.
Actually, Project ARC is now about 205 companies now who participated, and close to 1.1 million test kits are arriving. The first delivery to the companies is actually today. It arrived last night, so they're delivering all the test kits, the rapid test kit, or what we call the antibody test kits, to the companies so that they can start testing their employees. So on top of that, we had a plane also arrive last night for our PCR, RT-PCR equipments, both automatic extraction and PCR machines, which were also helping 7 government hospitals. So it's not only in rapid testing that we are pushing, it's a combination of rapid test
Opo,
and
also
PCR,
the PCR.
which is swab test. Okay.
Well,
So
Secretary, ano
that's
po?
what we're doing right now.
Opo. We're looking at what amount of testing capacity within the next 15 days?
Now, okay, so about close to today, I think about close to 400,000 is arriving. And then next week, there'll be another batch. So every week, there'll be a batch. So we expect about, on the rapid side, on the body side, maybe let's look at it about 15,000 a day.
A
But
day?
remember,
Madami.
a day. But remember, there is no we don't have equipment. This is all blood-based. So we can have results in the next 2 weeks, maybe results of 400, 500,000. So that's how fast you can execute it, because you don't need to go to a laboratory like a PCR. You have to go to a lab, you have to do a swab test. So there are more procedures. Dito, you just go to the centers and then you draw blood from, and then they
Opo.
put it in the kit itself. So that's why mass testing for employees is faster. It's faster.
Opo. Sec, if I may, Sec, we are talking about a private sector initiative basically, di ba? This is by your own group with 205 partners, of course, in coordination with the government, and a combination of RT-PCR and antibody test kits. So,
No, right now, no, let's separate that. The RT-PCR are equipments that we have brought in to help the government hospitals increase capacity. So that's another project we're doing with the government in partnership with them. But that will take time. That will take 45 days to 60 days to set up. But in 10 days from initiating the project, we now have the delivery. So that's how fast we move. So, but on the rapid test kits, that is going to be executed starting today and moving on forward. Now, that number is quite big, but remember, you don't need to go to a lab, so you can execute this very fast.
Pero sir, etong ibinibigay po ninyo ng mga rapid test, of course, through the initiative of private companies, hindi naman po required yung mga employees coming back to work na mag-undergo. I mean, all companies na magbubukas ngayon or nagbukas na
No.
under
It's not
MECQ, they're not required.
These are all, the companies are doing this. Number one, employees are not being charged. Government is not being charged. We're paying for all these kits now. This is at company expense. Why are we doing this? We need to test to be able to ensure that the health of our employees are protected, right? So they come back and we want to test them. And they all welcome it because many people don't want to work. They're scared. We cannot even complete a full shift. A second shift right now in our own, personally, and our own operation. But testing them gives them confidence that they're healthy. Now, all of these are purely voluntary efforts on the part of the private sector. Now, the number is growing because more and more private companies, the businessmen, entrepreneurs, feel that it is also necessary that they test their frontliners, especially in the fast food chains, in the supermarket and groceries. SM purchased a lot of test kits, Ayala and all the big conglomerates, the Lushitan Group, Mega World. So In other words, everybody's saying that these test kits are not reliable. And my point being is that, there are some doctors saying, no, we're discouraging it. By the way, this is purely, nobody's forcing anybody. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. But the point being is
At
that
least it's
if
there,
you
di ba?
don't, at least it's there. At least you have some visibility. They're saying the accuracy is only 90%, 60%. Well, don't you think there's so many companies in China producing this and selling it to the world? Don't you think the Chinese manufacturers are competent? They're one of the best in technology. Why will they develop something like this if it was useless? Why did New York use it to test their frontliners in New York State? No, why will they do that? And many other countries are doing the same thing. Why did the president use
Nag-freeze ako sa Sec. Joey.
Nag-freeze si Secretary Concepcion.
Oho.
Oo.
Pero Bok, I don't think naman the public would dispute ang sinasabi ni Sec. Joey na maiging gawin to. I mean,
Yes.
anybody who is concerned about what's happening would want to undergo these tests, especially kung libre.
Oo, di ba?
But that's the other thing we also want to find out. Kasi si Sec. Joey was talking about 205 partners who are responsible
Yes.
for bringing these 400,000 test kits in. I'm sure ang tanong ng maraming tao, maraming mga empleyado at employer,
Pag dinistribute.
paano ka kung ako negosyo, is there any way that I can get help in using those test kits from your group? Paano kami makasali diyan kung baga ganun?
Correct.
Para ma-test yung mga empleyado ko.
Oo.
Or dun lang ba sa 205 partners yon yung mga test
Yung
kits
rapid
nito?
test kits na nakuha nila para
I'm sure a lot of people are
i-distribute.
asking that now na paano kami pwedeng sumali dyan? Ay, si Sec.
Ayan
is
na,
back in.
bumalik na si Sec.
Sec, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you well.
Well,
Ayan.
Sec, we were saying nga kanina while you were gone na I don't think anybody from the public would dispute what you're saying that having test kits is good. I mean, anybody who's concerned would really want to get tested. I think nga baka nga the question in a lot of people's minds, mga employer at employee, mga mga MSME is how can they get involved? How can they take part in Project ARC and tap into your supply of test kits? What do they need to do? How do they get in touch, and so on down the line?
Yeah, I have a number that we can share with everybody, and we can share it with you. So Project ARC, we're all online. We don't sell test kits, by the way. We point them to suppliers who sell test kits that are FDA approved. But I wanted to point out this very important thing. No, it came out in GMA News that 160 PSG members tested positive for COVID, no, via rapid test. Okay, this is very important. Now, they tested asymptomatic people, and you have to test it. And that's the advantage of rapid test. No? You test asymptomatic. Now, testing, and you can screen immediately, and they say, okay, there's false positive, false negative. But that's true with any test, no? But what
May
it
margin
gives
of error.
us, and it gave the PSG, is visibility, no? Visibility.
Pero Sec, the fact that 160 tested positive sa PSG,
Yeah, pero one yung na-confirm.
one yung confirmed.
Through PCR. After mag-positive dun sa rapid. But at least, na-monitor kasi and na-quarantine.
Oho.
That's what's important.
Yeah.
Yan.
Yeah, this was tested over time, no? And you have to always verify this with a PCR. Test. No? So it doesn't really work. I mean, it's very important that when you have a positive case, you have to test it with a PCR. And whether it's 1 or 5 or whatever, the point being is that at least you're able to screen, right?
Correct.
What's worse if you don't screen? That one person can infect the entire production center in our own compound, no?
Lalo na pag yung person na yun, yung parang hub, kumbaga, parang kahera ka sa supermarket.
Yes.
Lahat dumadaan sa iyo
Oo. Uy, pero, sir, ang 160 naman yun, klaruhin ko lang doon sa listeners natin, that's from March until May. So, kumbaga,
matagal na yan. That's not
naipon
only
na siya.
now. No? So, they might be concerned. Right in our case, you test this over time. No? So, this is a couple of months, no? Many months, no? So, of testing. So, that's in other words, through the process, you discover potential positive. It's not confirmed until you do a PCR, no? So that is the advantage, no? It's not 160 at one glance. Boy, that's really big. No, this is over a long period of time since So that's the advantage. And they use Hilgen. No? It's one of the best rapid test kits actually out there in the market today. It's a US a patented product, but it's still made in China. No? So I think what we're saying here is, regardless whether you use rapid or PCR, you use both. Now, the private sector has to do this because we are running food, no? People in food, in delicate products. You want to provide the consumers that, hey, what we're doing is safe. And the employees also want to feel that. And the consumers, if you go to Jollibee, McDonald's, or Shakey's, they want to be sure that the food that they buy is handled by healthy people, right? And the only way you can do that is to do testing, no? And it's similar, again, let me try to say, the problem also is in the PCR, the capacity is only increasing right now. It's anywhere between 8 to 11,000 right now, which is fluctuating. The other day, Vince Gleason told me they hit 11,000. But then yesterday in the Senate hearing, I heard 8,000. But the goal is 30,000. We have to hit 30,000. No, that number of 30,000 did not come from just nowhere. Secretary Dominguez provided us a model that if we want to open up the economy, we should target 28,000 PCR tests on a daily basis. Now, if you add rapid tests to that, maybe it's not 1:1, maybe it's 50% of that. A rapid test will complement the PCR because the capacity is not yet there. Now, the reason why Go Negosyo and the ARC put all of these resources to bring equipments, because we need to help them, both government, DOH, and Red Cross, and plus all our donors in Go Negosyo is also now helping in increasing the capacity of swab testing. No? So in the end, we should make testing cheaper. Okay, that's important. It has to be cheaper and it has to be accessible. In other words, in every area of the Philippines, you can either get a rapid or an antibody, a rapid or a PCR test. In other words, and they should test also asymptomatic. If you're willing to pay, let's say I don't have any symptom, but I'm willing to pay because I want to feel comfortable, then allow me to be tested.
Pero, Sec,
But right now, the policy is not that. The policy for PCR testing is only symptomatic people.
yeah,
Yes.
and frontliners, and PUIs and PUMs.
And frontliners.
So yung mga the general population hindi kasama
Hindi
doon sa
kasama.
listahan right now eh. Pero Sec,
Even if they want to pay.
Opo. Pero Sec, like you said a while ago, yung Project ARC is not selling these test kits, but I'm sure a lot of people would want to know more or less how much they would cost. Ballpark figure, mga magkano po abutin if they go to the
Right
suppliers
now,
that you refer them
dati,
to?
mga 1,000 yan, 900, 800. What we did is we got somebody to bring it in at 450 pesos. No?
450
450
per
per
test
head.
kit, ha?
Yeah, that's it. So, I mean, even your people in the household, some people are concerned because yung mga drivers nila, they want to be protected. So, everybody out there, and I have friends also who got sick and did not feel that they got sick, and they got tested with a rapid test, and they were able to determine that they have IgG positive, which means that they had the virus already, and now they have the antibodies. So
Yeah.
the reason why people say that the rapid test is not accurate is because the rapid test operates differently. It looks for the antibodies, and the
Antibodies.
antibodies
Right.
comes out in the 7th day. No, that's when it comes out. No, PCR on the 2nd day, more or less, you can already determine if you have the virus. So that's the advantage of the PCR versus the antibody test kit. No?
Sec, kukuyugin kayo ng maraming tao yan na interesado dun sa sa mga test kits niyan. I'm sure a lot of employers would want to get in touch with you for those
Well, there
test
right
kits.
now, aside from the 205, there are over 300 people already, 300 companies inquiring. No, I think the reason why this is very important is that which is more expensive, the testing cost or a lockdown, right? It boils down to us. The moment we have a recurrence, and that's what we want to prevent. We're now opening up the economy. I believe that NCR eventually will move towards a GCQ. Now, once we move towards a GCQ, we have to increase our testing, or else we're going to endanger the public health. No? That is a fact. You create more, you have to do more testing because you're opening up the economy. So you have to do both. It is very hard to do a kind of massive testing with your employees at a huge number in a short time if you go PCR, because uh, it's more complicating. You have to bring the person to do swab testing, and so it is more challenging. No, but both methods will help us keep the economy open. Both testing methods, and that is what the private sector is doing right now. They don't want the economy to close again because then the jobs of our people will be lost. Imagine how many people are already going hungry. How many people are looking for money to buy medicines. We're now 2.5, will be 2.5 months by the time this ends. So imagine how many businesses are already crippled at this point in time. So once we open, we better pray that this doesn't close again, because then the Philippines will be in deep trouble. And we're not like America that has so much resources. And we want to maintain the fiscal discipline of Secretary Dominguez by keeping our balance sheet healthy. The moment we keep borrowing money just to fund all our social amelioration programs, then I'm sad. I mean, the Philippines will be destroyed that way. Cannot be that way. We have to run the engines of the economy. That is the only way. And to keep that, we must test, we must trace, and we must isolate.
Sir, earlier you mentioned about the RT-PCR. So your group is also bringing in RT-PCR to help the government. Ganun po ba mangyayari doon? Will this be part of the 30,000 per day na target ng government?
No, in fact, we hope that whatever capacity we put in, which is about 7,000 additional capacity with these government hospitals, will further increase, because the goal is hopefully in the next 30 days, the government and the DOH and Red Cross, by the way, Red Cross is also contributing a large part of the capacity. DOH and Red Cross will be able to come close to that number. But in the end, I think we should try to target 50,000 a day. No? That's
50.
I mean, with the efforts of the private sector, the more testing equipment we have there all over the Philippines, then, and we have to make it cheaper, no? We have to try to target a price of 2,000 pesos for PCR testing. Because if you look at rapid tests, it's 450. So why will a employer pay 2,000 when he can just pay 450 and he can test his employees every week if he wants to, no? Versus the PCR at 4,000 pesos. Or 4,000 right now is what is being charged. At some hospitals, I heard it's even 8,000. Hindi kaya ng mga maliit na tao yan, mga maliit na entrepreneurs. Hindi nila kaya yung presyo na yan. So that is the challenge. How do we bring, and it can be brought lower, because we met with the Sunsure chairman through the efforts of Congressman Janet Garin, and that's why we brought the equipment so much cheaper. And they told us you can get the testing kits for just $12, no? And maybe if we buy big volumes, they may even drop it to $10. So this is for the PCR, no, the swab test, no?
$10?
So the prices can go down if we buy in volume.
$10, sir? That's 500 pesos.
That's right, anywhere between 10 to 12. But of course, that's just the kit, no? Then they have to process it with the lab.
Reagents
so
pa, in the lab. Yeah.
The reagents and all of that. So definitely, mas mahal ang swab testing case antibody testing. But eventually, even if that's $500, even if they do it at 1,500 or 2,000, that's enough margin already for the government hospitals and all of that. But I see that not everybody can afford 4,000 to 5,000 or whatever price it is. We have to make it more affordable. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yes, sir.
In the end, it's really what is more important really here, the way I see it, is let's keep our economy open, because our people depend on it. No? The workers depend on it. And entrepreneurs depend on this livelihood.
Yes, sir. Sir, may I ask you about yung assessment niyo dun sa pag-shift natin sa MECQ mula nung weekend? We're now at day 5 of the MECQ, yung Modified Enhanced Community Quarantine. Kasi ang dami nakapuna, dumagsa yung mga tao sa EDSA, dumagsa yung mga tao sa kung saan sa mga mall, at maraming nagagalit. And of course, we understand, kailangan ng balancing act yan eh. You have to balance yung health ng economy versus yung health ng taong bayan. So, ano po ang assessment niyo dun sa MECQ natin?
Well, kasi yung problema naman dyan, may mga fake news ang dami. Yung Robinson photo sa mall nila, lumang-lumang photo naman yan. Sinabi ni Robina Gokongwei. At sabi ni Secretary Galvez Lin, sa mga tinignan nila, hindi naman ganyan karami. But of course, they're calling the attention of some malls. No? Now, the EDSA traffic is called basically because there are more vehicles on the road right now, private vehicles, because there's no public transportation, right? So that's one issue. Number two, you have still security checkpoints. Eventually, the security checkpoints are causing traffic. So they have to eventually, hopefully, let go these security checkpoints. But as long as the security checkpoints are there, of course you will have traffic. And of course, there are more private vehicles right now because there's no other way for public transportation. So we are now having to get our own buses, etc., etc.
But so you're not naman concerned about yung apparently yung pagdami ng mga tao. Kasi for example, the MMDA pointed out na sa kanilang tansya, mga 100,000 vehicles ang dumadaan sa EDSA nung Linggo at Lunes. That's around one-fourth ng usual traffic ng EDSA on pre-COVID day.
Yeah, well, it's hard to determine. I asked my driver, bakit may traffic? Kasi may checkpoint dito, may checkpoint there. And then last night, he was supposed to go and pick up somebody in the airport, bring somebody to the airport. And he couldn't make it because there was also checkpoints. So the checkpoints do cause, I guess the government has to do their own security measures, but these are causing, it's not that everybody is going out. I mean, many families are still at home. I've been still at home. I mean, I'm now accustomed to doing work using online, Zoom, and whatever platforms there are. We have now cut down the workforce going to our offices, pero yung mga office production centers natin, yan puno ng mga tao kasi they have to really produce. Kasi if we don't produce the food, walang kakainin ng mga Filipinos natin. So we are in the food business. That's why we're ramping up 3 shifts a day, to be able to supply the market. So I don't think, I see that, of course, maybe konting excitement. No? You're kulong in your house for 2 months? Siyempre,
Sabagay, no?
You want to go out. No?
Nanggigil.
I mean, the amount of anxiety and boredom that many people have felt over 2 months, parang nasa tayo sa isang jail. So, but siyempre, I didn't go out, but others had to go out. But I think that will tone down. No? That will tone down.
Magsisettle down
let's
din.
put it this way, Ed, you want to see also economic activity.
Yes, sir.
If yesterday walang tao in the street, that means everybody is scared to go out. Then if consumers will not also go out, baksak ng ekonomiya natin, no? Nobody will buy anything anymore. So excessive fear is not also good, no? I mean, balanced fear is fine. In other words, we be scared, let's be responsible, let's use the safe, our mask, etc., and let's take that precaution. But to generate economic activity, people have to go out. You cannot stop that.
Yun.
Okay.
Sige. Sir, maraming salamat po. Sir Joey Concepcion, Presidential Advisor for Entrepreneurship. And thank you po to your group for your efforts. Baka pwede tayong pumila na rin sa kanilang
Para makapag-rapid test for 150.
But thank you po for your efforts and hope and good luck. Hope you can increase the capacity more.
Thank you, Ed. Thank you, Marisa.
Thank you, sir. Maganda naman yung effort talaga nila.
Rapid test kit 450 para kang bubili ng cell card sa 7-Eleven.
Oo. Pero this time, makaka-test ka na. Diba? Hindi, at saka iba rin kasi book yung binibigay na comfort psychologically.
Oo, kasi hindi mo naman asymptomatic ba ako, hindi. Baka
Diba?
makakawa ba ako, hindi.
Kasi meron ka rin concern na kapag lalo na yung mga frontliners, galing ka sa labas, babalik ka sa bahay, makakasalamuha mo yung family mo. One of the concerns, so iba pa rin talaga yung nabibigay nila na ease, kumbaga, kapag nag-undergo ka ng testing.
But I think one thing that we need to emphasize in is whatever the result, kung mag-rapid test po kayo, whatever the result you get, mag-negative man yan o mag-positive, pero kung mag-negative yan, that does not still absolve you of your responsibility to practice yung minimum health standards. In other words, wash pa rin, constantly your hands with soap and water,
Yes.
face mask pa rin, cough etiquette pa rin. So kahit mag-negative kayo sa rapid test, ano pa rin kayo? Ganun pa rin kayo.
Oo, dapat meron pa rin safety precautions.
Hindi yung palibasa,
kumbaga.
ay wala pala akong ano.
Oo. Sa antibodies nga yung tinitest dun sa rapid test, diba? Oo, kaya, ayun. Anyway, batiin natin yung mga nanonood sa atin sa 1PH Facebook, sina Christian Season watching from General
From
Trias,
Gentry.
Cavite. Gary Allen Phelps. Sukin natin to.
O si Jojit.
At si Jojit Arcega na isinusumbong ang dumarami raw na motorsiklong may
May
angkas.
angkas. Uy, bawal yan.
Uy, bawal nga yun
Sa Tondo. Si Jojit ba? District 2? District 2 ata si Jojit eh.
O ba? Suki rin ba to?
Ay,
Ayan,
nagpadala ni Chicharon yan.
siya yung nagpapadala ng chicharon
Yan si
na
Mang
laging
Chicharon.
nakakain yun ni Cheryl na hindi ko inaabutan. Yun ba yun? Si Jojit?
Yung
Talaga to si
simple
Jojit.
magparinig, oh.
Hindi naman ako nagpaparinig, Jojit. Pero pag may chicharon, thank you. Oy, happy watching din
Kaya
kina...
naman, na-lockdown na nga sila. Naghahanap ka pa ng Chicharon sa kanya.
Syempre, ikaw nagkukwento ng chicharon, hindi ko nga alam yan.
Pre-COVID yung unang batch ng Chicharon.
Ganun ba?
Iba yung reality nun.
Okay, sige. So, post-COVID, pwede.
Si Jojit,
Baka medyo matagal pa yon. Happy watching din kina Red Madrid at Fritz Mascariola. Parang mga
greetings.
editor natin.
Parang relax.
Parang kilala ko yung mga...
Okay, greetings po sa lahat ng mga kababayan natin abroad, sa mga overseas Filipino workers, mga tripulante. Mag-ingat po kayo at tumutok lang dito sa 1PH para sa pinakahuling mga balita. Magbabalik po ang special coverage ng 1PH sa COVID-19. Nagbabalik po ang special coverage ng 1PH sa COVID-19 pandemic.
Live po tayo sa 1PH Signal Channel 1 at napapakinggan din po kami sa Radyo 5, 92.3 News FM at live streaming sa news5.com.ph pati sa Facebook pages at YouTube channels ng 1PH at Radyo 5. Ito, sa issue pa rin ng mass testing, sinigundahan ng Department of Health ang sinabi ni Presidential Spokesman Harry Roque na wala naman talagang plano ang pamahalaang magsagawa ng COVID-19 mass testing. Ang plano raw kasi talaga ay targeted test lang, na ngayon ay expanded na. Ang paliwanag dyan ng DOH kung sa umpisa, itetest lang yung mga may sakit na, ngayon sinama na rin yung mga nagpapakita ng mild symptoms. Pakinggan po natin.
We tried to veer away with this term na mass testing kasi gusto namin isipin ng mga tao that this is not indiscriminate testing. Kasi pag sinabi mo mass testing, iniisip ng mga tao buong populasyon ng Pilipinas, which is not the case. Ang expanded testing po, yun pa rin po, tayo ay magfo-focus dun sa mga taong kailangang i-test talaga.
Kung may mass o pangkalahatan man daw na pinaplano ang DOH, yun po ay ang contact tracing. Mismong si Cebu City Mayor Edgar Labelle raw ang nakapagpatunay na sa pamamagitan nito, mabilis silang natuntun lahat ng confirmed COVID-19 patients. Mayroon silang 8 teams ng contact tracers mula sa DOH Regional Office, City Health Office, Barangay Health Workers at mga pulis. Ito raw talaga ang dahilan kaya higit 1,500 positive cases na ang na-report sa syudad.
Ito. Kasama sa mga naniniwalang hindi kailangan ng mass testing ang miyembro ng DOH COVID-19 Technical Advisory Team na si Dr. Edsel Salvana. At makakausap po natin siya ngayong umaga. Good morning po sa inyo, Doc.
Good morning, Doc.
Good morning, Ed. Good morning, Mase.
Hi po.
Good
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, of course.
Oo, Doc.
Mag-una tayo siguro, mag-definition of terms tayo. Para
Yes.
Kasi nagkakagulo tayo minsan sa semantics eh.
Oo, yung mass testing kasi kahapon, di ba? Sinabi Doc ni Secretary Rocky kasi, sabihin natin, a day before that, May 18, na parang kasi kaya medyo nagkaroon probably ng confusion is because yung mass testing na sinasabi doon sa paliwanag ng briefing sa konteksto nga ng Wuhan, China, na
Na
nasa
buong populasyon.
11 million population yung tinest. And then a day after that, kinlarify na it's not really mass testing na buong population, but just an expanded targeted test. So Doc, para mas maliwanag, ayan, mas maganda kung manggaling na po sa inyo. Ano ba talaga yung test na kailangan
natin.
gawin?
Opo. So ang recommendation naman po talaga ng WHO is yung tinatawag na risk-based testing. Ibig sabihin, kung may risk ang isang tao, say merong outbreak like yung nanggaling sa Cebu, yun, i-contact trace mo lahat at i-test mo yung mga karapat dapat i-test. Kasama dito syempre yung may mga sintomas, whether mild or malala, at yung mga taong may close contact dun sa mga taong na pruweba na meron talagang COVID-19. So ito yung risk-based testing kasi syempre kung sa isang community wala namang kaso, bakit mo ka magte-test doon? Parang sayang lang naman talaga yung pera. So ang confusion po kasi talaga is when you say mass testing, ang iba, hindi naman lahat, ang iniisip nila, bawat tao dapat i-test. At hindi naman po talaga ganon.
Hindi naman kaya talaga po.
Opo, hindi po kaya at hindi rin tama. Kasi bakit mo ite-test ng isang taong walang risk? Baka magkamali pa yung test tapos sabihin mo na meron, wala naman talaga kasi hindi naman perfect yung test natin. So yung bottom line po, siguro mas tama yung sinabi ni Yusek Rosette Vergere na siguro let's go away from that term kasi medyo ambiguous nga siya, mahirap intindihin. Kung hindi ang gawin natin is yung appropriate testing po, we try to test everyone who is at risk.
Doc, I think you earlier said that there are at least two kinds of testing involved. Ito yung clinical testing which is for treatment at yung epidemiological testing which is for policymakers to get a big picture of ilan sa isang community yung merong sakit versus ilan yung wala for policy reasons. In our case po, would we still need, in your opinion, epidemiological testing? In other words, parang a sampling of the population.
Yes po, actually that is very informative. Until recently kasi mahirap gawin yun kasi yung test natin hindi pa ganun kaganda. Pati yung mga rapid tests, they're actually not great for epidemiologic sampling. Pagamat ngayon meron na yung mga tinatawag na ELISA, yun po maganda po talaga yun for zero surveys. At hindi mo iti-test lahat, just really a sample. And actually pupuhunan po ito ng Department of Science and Technology dahil po ito ay research. Hindi po ito kasi pag tinest mo ng antibody isang tao, ang sasabihin lang naman nun sa'yo is nagkaroon na ba ito ng sakit at naka-recover na ba siya. So hindi mo rin naman talaga i-treat yun kung hindi kasi naka-recover na siya. Kung hindi, parang batayan lang na okay, ano na ang level ng COVID-19 na dumaan dito sa isang komunidad, and that is useful information po.
So kung magsasampling na test, ilang porsyento yung dapat na target natin dito?
Depende po. You have to calculate it kasi ang calculation ng sample size medyo komplikado po. It depends on what the prevalence is in the area. Say, kung iisipin mo, is it less than 5%? Is it 10%? Depende. So usually, kung hindi mo alam, sabihin mo na hindi natin alam kung ano yung prevalence, usually in a population, say in a barangay, you can test anywhere from 100 to 400 people. Pero that has to be worked out po. Ginagawa po talaga yun ng epidemiologist. At ang sampling po, hindi pwedeng buong bahay or yung mga pumupunta lang sa shopping center. Kailangan po, random po talaga yung sampling para makapture po niya kung ano po talaga yung nangyayari sa community.
Doc, let me try to put in a parallel or an analogy. Kasi parang survey, I suppose, parang survey yan na you don't ask the entire population their opinion, you only get a percentage na parang representative sample. Tama po ba? Parang ganun?
Yes po. Parang ganun po.
In which case kasi sa mga survey, it is a random sample pero kahit papaano they still try to get a good cross section. So random siya pero at the same time selectively randomized. Tama yung
May category ba? Ganon?
Di ba? I don't know.
Criteria?
Hindi yung tipong humugot ka ng kahit sinong and get that number to answer the questionnaire. So in this case po, I'm wondering, in the event of a sampling of the population, should we look at sampling only specific communities or sampling the general population of the country? For example, a percentage of the Philippine population ba? Or should we go into specific talaga areas?
So may ano po yan, may iba-ibang methodologies yan. You can sample say at the regional level, at the city level, at the barangay level, and you can sample different cities, hindi po kailangan lahat ng cities. Yung social weather station po, nagbigay nga po ng panukala na if you do it, of course the more samples you do, the more accurate, although hindi naman kailangan lahat. Pero as little as 4,000 to 5,000 properly sampled people can actually represent the whole Philippines in those situations. Of course, they'll adjust pa for dropouts or kung may mga ibang problems. But hindi po kailangan kasi na sobrang dami. Ang important po is masample ng maayos.
Ay, tapos Doc, kasi when we were talking to Secretary Vince Dizon nung Friday, if I remember correctly, or was it Thursday? Anyway, late last week, ang sinasabi niya, ang target nila, and si Vince Dizon is the deputy implementer ng COVID-19 task force. Ang sinasabi niya, ang target niya, I suppose he was talking for the task force, is 1 to 2% of the population. So that's mga 1 to 2 million people, more or less. I don't know if that's a workable number.
It can be a workable number, pero kasi halo-halo na yon. Hindi lang yung epidemiologic sampling, kasama na rin doon yung clinical sampling. So ang peg kasi po talaga ng WHO is syempre iba-ibang epidemic Tingnan mo sa Amerika lampas 1 milyon na yung kaso nila. Kailangan mas marami talaga silang gagawin na test. Pero sa atin mas konti dito, mas konti yung gagawing test. Ang peg ng WHO is you are actually doing enough testing if for every 10 samples that you test or more, isa ang nagpa-positive. In other words, a positivity rate among the tests that you are doing of less than 10%. And tayo po, for every 16 na tinitest natin, isa po ang positive. So less than 10% na po tayo. Ang Germany actually 18 to 1. And ang South Korea mas mataas po, syempre. Pero yung 10 or below, 10% or below, okay na po yun from a WHO standpoint. And if we're going to target that, lalo na over the long term, matagal pa po talaga to, baka nga umabot ng 1 million. So tingnan po natin.
Okay.
Pero Doc, ang sinasabi rin kasi ng IATF, well, of course, ang sinasabi nila ngayon nasa average of 11,000 a day na tayo na test, and we're targeting 30,000 per day na test by end of May. But of course, kanina sinasabi ni Secretary Concepcion, sana magawa pa nating mga 50,000 a day if that's feasible. But these numbers, are these enough to avoid probably a second wave?
Well, sir, two things. First of all, ang numbers na yan ay capacity. Hindi ibig sabihin na gagawin mo yung tests na yun talaga every day. Siyempre, kung say, sinuwerte tayo, tapos konti na lang yung nagkakaroon ng sakit, you can test much less than that. Pero the capacity is there in case mag-surge. So gusto mo talaga ng parang meron kang buffer. Now, in terms of whether magkaka-second wave or not, hindi lang yan dahil sa testing. Siyempre, dahil yan sa behavior ng mga tao. Nakita nyo naman nung relax ng konti yung isip, hindi lahat sumunod. Marami pa rin nagkukumpulan and everything. And that's human nature, unfortunately. And so we have to think about that. Pero yung pinaka-important kasi talaga, now that pinalabas na tayo ng bahay, pwede na lumabas yung working population, we really have to put a lot of effort into prevention. Yung pag-wear ng mask, yung physical distancing, yung paghugas ng kamay. Kasi ang virus na to nandiyan na po talaga sa labas. Hindi na natin yan mababalik. Kaya kinakailangan po mag-ingat kasi kahit anong test mo, kung hindi mag-iingat ang mga tao, tataas at tataas lang ang mga kaso.
Doc, paano nga po yung mga asymptomatic? Kasi 'di ba ang targeting natin so far ngayon is yung mga people who are in the front lines, people who are symptomatic, people who are PUIs and POMs. But at the same time, 'di ba, we're looking at mga 81% of those infected to be showing only mild or no symptoms at all of the disease. So aren't they a concern na 8 out of those 10 who have the disease may not really be showing the disease?
Well, yung 80%, karamihan po doon mild. Tapos yung asymptomatic kasi, isa pa itong magulo, katulad ng mass actually. A lot of these asymptomatic kuno are actually pre-symptomatic. Ibig sabihin, wala pa silang sintomas, pero in 2 to 3 days, magkakaroon rin yan ng sintomas.
Okay.
So, the problem is kasi, pag say, ngayon, nahawa ka ng COVID, kahit tinest kita ngayong araw, hindi pa yan magpa-positive
Hindi
until
lilitaw.
mga 2 days bago ka magkaroon ng COVID-19. So, hindi mo talaga mapipick up lahat ng asymptomatic or pre-symptomatic spreaders. So, kahit anong gawin mong test, may makakalusot. So, anong gagawin mo sa ganon? Ang important is, yun nga, yung tinatawag natin na i-COVID-proof natin ang ating society. Na lahat ng tao nakamask, we act as if everyone is an asymptomatic carrier para we don't give the virus any chance to transfer.
Sir, base dun sa mga datos na pinapakita ng IATF, ng DOH, bumaba nga yung ating doubling rate from before na in 2 days, no? Parang ano na ba ngayon, naging 5 days? 5 days na ba? Or basta
Tumaas yung number of days.
Oo, yun. Tumaas yung number of days bago magdoble, kumbaga, yung kaso. Pero at this point, masasabi na ba natin na lumagpas na tayo o naabot na natin yung peak, kumbaga, ng mga number of cases?
Well, so far, yung naging peak natin was about 538 ata nung March 31. Pero kasi, isipin rin natin na mas dumadami yung testing natin araw-araw. So, iba yung 500 dati at iba yung 500 ngayon. So, kung iisipin natin na we were getting 200 cases and we were only testing 2,000 and now we're getting 200 cases but we're testing 11,000, actually bumaba yun. Natural, the more testing you do, the more that you pick up. So, actually, yung percentage positivity nga natin has gone down from 10% dati. Ngayon, it's about 7%. That means that the increase in tests, assuming that yung numbers are more or less stable sa 200, dahil sa dami ng test na ginagawa natin, yung mga hindi natin na-capture na positive dati, at naka-capture na natin ngayon, kung 200 yon, actually the real number probably really did go down. At ito po yung tinatawag na how many people get infected from one infection, yung tinatawag na R-naught. Dati, siguro one person can infect about 3. Tapos towards the end of the ECQ, one person could really only just infect one person. Doon po yung batayan ng tinatawag na nagpa-flatten yung curve. Bagamat hindi pa siya nagsisiro, the number of daily cases is steady, or in our case, because we're doing more testing, actually baka bumababa nga yan. Hindi naman po kasi talaga, ang hirap-hirap siyang i-zero katulad ng ginawa ng New Zealand at ng Australia kasi hindi naman perfect yung ECQ natin eh. Pero bumaba po talaga yung transmission rate.
So, can we say na kumbaga, tapos na tayo dun sa critical level?
Well, for the first or the second wave. Kasi yun, pinag-aawayan pa rin yun po eh. Kasi di ba yun, may 4-week period po tayo na meron tayong 3 cases from Wuhan, and then 4 na linggo ang nakaraan, and then ito yung tinatawag na second wave, at tuloy-tuloy pa po ito. So, whether that's the first or the second wave, nag-peak na yung unang, yung pre-ECQ, pero dahil wala pa pong widespread immunity sa virus na ito, madali pong mag-peak ulit. So that's really up to us, how we COVID-proof our society. Kasi habang wala tayong effective vaccine, uulit at uulit ito, at kung hindi natin gamitin yung mga advantages na nakuha natin dahil sa ECQ, tinaasan na po natin yung ating testing capacity, dinamihan na po natin yung ating hospital beds, pero importante po rin talaga na mag-iingat ang mga tao to keep the virus numbers low. Otherwise, magpipik na naman yan, ma-overwhelm yung healthcare system, maraming mamamatay.
Doc, ngayon, in the last 5 days, we have loosened up some restrictions doon sa dating mga ECQ areas. Now we have MECQ in Metro Manila and parts of Central Luzon, as well as in the Visayas. I'm wondering lang po if kasi with the MECQ we now have more businesses opening up. We have some industries at 50% of the workforce coming back to work. Your opinion po, should industries be encouraged to have their employees tested, whether it's with the help of government funding or on their own as a private sector? Should they be encouraged to undertake their own testing?
Yeah, I think ang pinaka-important naman talaga, dahil we know that 85% of transmission is from people who have symptoms. So yung pinaka-important na test bago bumalik sa trabaho is whether nagkaroon ka ng sintomas ng COVID in the last 14 days. Now, yung laboratory testing, kung ang hinahanap mo ay asymptomatic carriers, mahirap po talaga. Ang antibody test will not detect, will not become positive unless you've had symptoms for at least 7 days. Better nga kung 14 days. So, kung once na-screen mo na yung mga symptomatics mo, at kung kailangan ni RT-PCR dahil may sakit sila, yung papapasukin mo ng mga walang sintomas, wala po talagang magandang test para dyan. And even if you do RT-PCR on them, you will still miss some. So yun nga tinatawag na hindi cost-effective. Pero araw-araw, dapat sinecheck rin yung symptoms. Kung meron magka-sintomas, then definitely i-isolate natin yon at i-test po natin yon. Yun yung targeted testing pa rin. Pero yung gagawa mo ng rapid antibody test ang lahat bago bumalik sa trabaho, that will give you po a false sense of security. First of all, the antibody tests are not very good for detecting asymptomatic carriers. The second is, sabihin nga natin na okay yun, paano kung na-expose ka bukas? Kala mo negative ka, pero nahawa ka pala the next day, so hindi ka na negative. And so, that's a continuing risk, and it will tell people na, okay, negative naman ako, hindi ako nakakahawa. Baka hindi sila mag-ingat, mas lalong maging malaki yung problema.
So, ang sinasabi niyo parang yung at the outset, yung mas importante ngayon, yung what you might call the non-medical test. Ito yung pagtetest ng temperature, pagtetest for symptoms. That would be more important at this point than yung medical test na RT-PCR at yung rapid test kits.
Yeah, more than, yun nga, yung symptom screen rather than the laboratory testing. Of course, we use the laboratory testing appropriately. Kung may symptoms, then you do the RT-PCR. But yun nga, you're talking about 85% of possible transmission from symptomatic tests. So it's very, very important. Tanggalin na natin yung 85% na yan by making sure that our patients are healthy, that our workers are healthy before they get back to work. Yung 15% na asymptomatic transmission, ang kailangan talaga dyan is yung social distancing, yung mga non-pharmacologic interventions, yung pag-wear ng mask, yung hygiene, is very, very important in further decreasing that risk. And there is no test that will 100% pick up all of your asymptomatic carriers. So it's really important that we engineer the workplace to be COVID-19 proof.
Well, Doc, we asked about that kasi before we talked to you, we were talking to Secretary Joey Concepcion with Project ARC, and they've spent, I think, around more than $500 million already to bring in test kits for the private sector sa mga workplace.
Yeah, well, it's a free country, they can test that. I just hope that they use a validated test kit kasi yun yung naging problema sa rapid tests. Pag titingnan po natin yung Foundation for Innovative New Diagnostics, yung FIND, na ka-affiliate ng WHO, they tested about 63 rapid test kits. Mga 3 or 4 lang actually yung medyo matino yung result. So first of all, yung validity ng rapid test is in question. So we really have to make sure na okay yon. Pangalawa is yung WHO has said na itong rapid test kit sa ngayon, baka naman magbago, sa ngayon, hindi pa talaga siya maganda for clinical decision making because it can mislead you, especially for asymptomatic carriers. Now, alam naman nila yan, alam naman yan ng private sector. If they really want to use it, it's a free country. In FDA, clear naman yan. Although, again, it's important to be informed about the results of the latest validation studies. Basta alam po natin na ang negative test sa rapid test sa isang asymptomatic cannot rule out na walang COVID-19 ng isang tao. Yun po yung pinaka-importante. But if it makes them feel better, if they want to spend the money, then that's their business po. DOH and the medical societies just don't recommend it.
Okay. Doc, ako, one more question ako, Doc, before we let you go. Isa pa akong tanong, minor detail lang. Ito pong rapid test kits, di ba, they look for antibodies. And the antibodies would indicate if you had the virus. But will this rapid test kits tell you if you still have the virus? In other words, would this rapid test kits tell you if you are still sick Or
Yeah,
if you just if you simply have the antibodies?
Yeah, it will not tell you if you still have the virus. Kasi iba yung timeline ng virus at iba yung timeline ng antibody.
Opo.
Yung antibody, kahit wala na yung virus sa'yo for 1 or 2 months, pwedeng
pa rin.
positive pa rin yung antibody. At yun nga, kung nandiyan yung virus na maaga pa, pwedeng mag-negative yung antibody. So it's not predictive of people whether they're still contagious or not. There's some data na pag tumataas na yung antibody levels mo, bumababa na rin yung level ng virus mo. Pero gray area pa yon, and so it's very difficult to make conclusions about whether, somebody who has antibodies or cured. Sabi rin ng WHO, it does not guarantee immunity sa ngayon kasi yung antibody test, hindi mo alam anong level ng antibody is protective, anong klaseng antibody is protective. So right now, very, very premature pa po to draw any conclusions on what these antibody tests tell us, but they're continuing to research, and I think in the future it will have a role. Pero we really have to make sure na yung magandang test po talaga yung ginagamit natin.
Teka, i-translate natin yun. So, Doc, sabihin niyo sa akin kung tama yung sinasabi ko. So, itong antibody test kits, maaaring sabihin sa iyo na ikaw ay nagkasakit, pero hindi niya sasabihin sa iyo kung ikaw meron pa ring sakit.
Yes, or kung nakakahawa ka pa.
O kung nakakahawa ka pa.
Yes.
Yun.
Okay, klaro.
Mali na. Doc, maraming salamat po.
Thank you, Doc.
Okay pa. Thank you po.
Thank you, Doc.
Salamat.
Si Dr. Edsel Salbana ng DOH COVID-19 Technical Advisory Team.
Although kahit naman yung before, di ba, Bok, nung in-endorse nila yung rapid test, sinabi rin naman talaga nila na antibodies yung madidetect.
Yeah, antibodies.
From the
Yeah, but yun nga, that's another detail that we sometimes miss out on. It will not tell you kung ikaw ay meron pa ring sakit.
Yes.
Kung nakakahawa ka pa rin.
kung nakakahawa
Maaari
ka
niya
pa.
sabihin sa'yo na ikaw ay nagkaroon ng sakit.
Oo. Pero at present, hindi niya madedetermine.
Dali, pinapalis na tayo.
Ayun, sige, go.
Okay, walang bibiti mga kapatid. Magbabalik pa ang aming special coverage sa COVID-19 pandemic.
Nagbabalik ang special coverage ng 1PH sa COVID-19 pandemic.
At sa punto pong ito, makakausap po natin si former Senate President Juan Ponce Enrile. Kasama po siya sa hearing ng Senado kahapon sa prangkisa ng ABS-CBN. Good morning po, former Senator Enrile.
Good
Thank you for
morning,
joining
sir.
us po.
Magandang umaga sa iyo, Ed. Magandang umaga sa iyo, Maricel.
Opo.
Magandang umaga po.
Kahapon po pinapanood namin yung inyong talakayan at balitaktakan doon sa Senado at matalas pa po yung inyong matalas pa yung inyong mga legal arguments at pabalik-balik yung Senado sa inyo para sa inyong mga komento. Ngayon po, matanong ko lang po kasi I'm sure nabalitaan na po ninyo na inatras ng Kongreso ng House yung kanilang provisional franchise bill. Ang sabi ngayon ng House, tatalakayan na nila yung 25-year franchise mismo. Ito po, malamang nabalitaan na po ninyo.
Oo, nabalitaan ko yung tama yun. Ako sapagkat mali yung ginawa nila. Hindi nila pwedeng iwasan yung 3-day rule. Mandatory yun.
Opo.
Yun ang utos ng saligang batas. Yun ang utos ng sambayanang Pilipino sa ilalim ng kanilang saligang batas. Hindi nila mababago yun sapagkat that is the purpose. The purpose is to see to it that there is no manipulation in the enactment of laws. Yung ginawa nila na one day, 2 readings, that's the manipulation. Yun ang iniiwasan ng reglamento na yun. Kaya tama yung ginawa nila, inyatras nila at talakayin nila yung primary bill. Now, ang question ko sa kanila, if you can grant a temporary franchise, what is the compelling or impelling reason that you cannot tackle the permanent franchise or the extension of the current franchise? Hindi ba?
Opo. Opo.
Congress can work day and night if they want to really finish a particular legislative matter. And don't toy with the Constitution, for heaven's sake. That is the organic law of the country. Without that, we are a banana republic.
Senator, balikan ko lang po yung una niyong sinabi. You were referring to, of course, yung constitutional requirement na separate days yung separate readings ng Kongreso unless po merong certification as urgent ng Pangulo.
Correct. The first reading, you will the Secretary of the Senate or of the House will read it only the title of the bill. Then it is referred
to the committee.
Ordered to be referred to a committee. Pagbalik from the committee, that is the second reading. And it is the period of debate on the floor. Para maunawaan ng publiko kung ano yung linalaman ng batas na magiging batas nila. And then after the amendments, period of amendments during the second reading, then you have a final bill. You print it and magbotohan na kayo kung aaprubahan ninyo. Pag binutuhan yon, separate days yun eh. Pirmahan yun ng Speaker of the House and the Senate President, padala sa Malacanang, aprubahan naman ng Presidente or ibito. That is the process. Hindi pwedeng mamadaliin yun or shortcut it.
Opo,
That is
pero Senator, we were also wondering, they're almost all lawyers in the lower chamber. Is it possible that they missed out on that constitutional requirement? How is that possible?
I do not know. But I'm surprised that the people who are following the rule are non-lawyers.
Pero sir, while pending pa po yung bill, yung franchise bill dito sa Congress, nag-start din naman ng hearing sa Senate. Yung ginagawa po ba sa Senate, isn't this premature na kahit na hindi pa na ipapasa doon sa Congress yung franchise bill, tinatalakay na rin po sa Senado?
Tama ka, sapagkat sa aking palagay, dapat iantay nila yung pasya ng Korte Suprema sapagkat merong defekto daw yung mga ownership ng kumpanya na required na lahat ay Pilipino. Ngayon, to me, that is a prejudicial question.
Aha.
Kung inaprubahan ng, kung sinustini or aprubahan ng Korte Suprema yung position ni Solgen Calida, ay maski pa unanimous ang Kongreso na bigyan ng prangkisa ang ABS-CBN, pati ng Presidente, pag pumayag siya, wala silang magagawa. Utos ng bayan na invalid yan. So they should wait for the Supreme Court. They've forgotten that the three branches of government, executive, legislative, and judiciary, are separate and independent, but they are coordinate. They have to coordinate their function. Those are the three words that governs the application of the Constitution. They've forgotten that.
Otherwise, sir, what will happen if the Supreme Court decides against ABS-CBN tapos biglang nabigyan ng Congress ng franchise? Ano yung mangyayari?
Ngayon, dapat, kung hindi ideklara ng Supreme Court na unconstitutional yon, sapagkat hindi issue yun doon sa kaso, you'll have this spectacle, kagaya nung sinabi ko doon sa sinulat ko sa Senado, na a law is being is sustaining an unconstitutional act of ABS-CBN, which is declared invalid by the Supreme Court. Tatawanan tayo ng ABS-CBN, papalakpakan tayo at hahalikan ang mga member ng Congress. At ang linoloko ang bayan natin.
Sir, pasensya po, hindi po ako abogado. Pero layman's question lang po. Wouldn't the Supreme Court find this issue to be moot and academic already? Kasi yung prangkisang kini-question ni Solgen Calida, nag-expire na po nung May 4 and we're talking about a possible new franchise.
No. A co-warrant of proceeding goes into the very essence of the corporation. Because the Supreme Court can invalidate the existence of the corporation. The co-warrant of proceeding will dissolve that corporation.
Okay.
That is my recollection of my knowledge of co-warrant to.
Tapos po,
Ang co-warrant to, tell me if you exist. Because under the Constitution, the ownership and management of mass media is limited to citizens of the Philippines or to corporations, cooperatives, or associations wholly owned by such citizens. That is the wording of the Constitution. Very simple.
Article 16, Section 11. Opo. Opo. Yes, sir. That is of course in the Constitution. Pero po, paano yung sinabi ng SEC doon sa hearing ng Kongreso nung Marso, I think, o nung Pebrero, na as far as they are concerned, as regulators, yung mga holders po ng Philippine Depositary Receipts are not owners of the corporation and there is no transfer of ownership.
My God. Bulag-bulagan sila. Ano yon? 132 million PDR is matched with 132 million shares of stock held by ABS-CBN Holdings, which has no other business but to be a conduit, receptacle, and holder of those shares. And the stockholders of ABS-CBN holding corporation cannot even sell them. They can only be sold by the holders of the PDRs. And all the income of ABS-CBN holdings coming from ABS-CBN operating corporation, whose franchise is now expiring, are passed through. They do not stay in the books of the corporation. They go out and paid as dividends to the holders of PDRs. Ano yun? What kind of animal is that PDR? If it is not a monument of title over shares of stock of ABS-CBN Corporation.
Pero sir, yun nga
That
po,
is, you know, I've studied corporation law in Harvard.
yes sir, yes sir.
That we call ABS-CBN Holdings a sham corporation.
Sir, yun nga, but given that interpretation of the SEC, and that interpretation has been applied by the regulators, not only to ABS-CBN, but to a lot of other companies.
That will be declared unconstitutional by the Supreme Court. That will be an issue that will be decided by the Supreme Court in the case. That is the core issue.
So now, sir, you're saying that the Congress must wait for the decision of the Supreme Court before discussing the franchise bill. That's what you're saying. Kasi ang dami pang mga issue.
If they know the Constitution very well, the word is to coordinate. Coordinate with whom? Coordinate with the Supreme Court. There is a pending case, which, if the decision is adverse to ABS-CBN, will control the action of the Congress. They cannot issue a franchise.
I see. Pero sir, balikan ko lang yung question ko kanina. Kasabay nga po kasi nung discussion sa Congress, nag-open din po ng discussion yung Senate about the same issue. So isn't it premature for Senate to discuss?
Ano yun?
Opo. Sir, ang sinasabi ko po kasi, balikan ko lang po yung question ko kanina, na habang dinidiscuss po kasi sa Congress yung issue, pati po yung Senado, diniscuss na rin po yung issue. So don't you think it is also premature for Senate to discuss this issue if Congress should wait for the decision of the Supreme Court first?
Alam mo, yung mga bagay na yan are not directly connected or relevant to the issue. The Senate or the House of Representatives can debate, can investigate, can inquire on any subject under the sun for as long as they do not make a definite decision on the subject. They can discuss it. There's no prohibition. In fact, they should. That's a part of their work.
And sir, do you consider ABS-CBN issue an urgent matter to discuss? Kasi like yesterday, naglabas po yung management ng ABS-CBN saying na baka by August magkaroon sila ng retrenchment if hindi agad madiscuss yung issue ng franchise.
Alam naman ng mga owners ng ABS-CBN na hindi indefinite yung existence ng business nila. May termino eh. Alam ng mga empleyado yan. Eh bakit hindi nila inatupag na ma-extend yung prangkisa nila para hindi sila dumating sa ganyang kalagayan? Eh sinabi ng batas, hanggang dyan lang kayo. Paano mo mabibigyan ng palugit yung batas kung sinabi hanggang dyan lang kayo? Now, ang sinasabi sa salig ng batas, that the President may certify a bill to meet to be necessary to be enacted to meet a calamity or an emergency. Now, the word emergency refers to a national emergency, not an emergency of Juan Ponce Enrile or JACA or ABS-CBN or TV5 or whatever corporation. It must be a national emergency. Emergency nga yung tayuan ng ABS-CBN, but that is not the emergency contemplated by the Constitution.
Sir, meron kayong nabanggit kahapon na panukala na na sana napursu dun sa Senado eh. Sabi po ninyo kahapon sa Senate hearing, instead of a provisional franchise, why not amend the NTC, I suppose the charter, to authorize the NTC to grant the power to extend. Could you tell us more about that?
Correct. Because hindi ang nakalimutan nitong mga senador at mga congressman at yung mga nandun, nakalimutan na nila na yung NTC is a representative of Congress. They have invested it with power to handle telecommunication. Eh, bakit hindi nila binagyan ng kapangyarihan as representative of Congress that in case there is an emergency like what is happening to ABS-CBN, they can maintain the status quo for some time until Congress can act. Yan ang ginagawa ng ARC. Yan ang ginagawa ng mga ibang ahensya ng gobyerno na ahente ng Kongreso. Bakit yung NTC hindi nila binigyan ng delegated power to deal with a situation like this?
Mhm.
And that's why
Yes, sir.
I suggested that instead of toying with the Constitution, they should address the issue through statutory enactment by amending the powers of NTC and let NTC issue a status quo order to maintain the operation of ABS-CBN while Congress is taking its sweet time to decide whether to grant or not to grant the extension or new franchise to ABS-CBN.
Yes, sir. Sir, I think that's a novel idea. I don't think anybody in Congress has thought of that idea. However, well, again, I'm not a lawyer. Pero sir, wouldn't Congress still need to pass or to grant ABS-CBN a franchise for it to continue to operate without an existing franchise?
They cannot. They're not an administrative agency. Their power is to legislate, and no more, no less, and no more than that.
What I mean, sir, is kasi, di ba yung Supreme Court in 2003, I think it was even penned by by Chief Justice Puno, ang sabi ng Kongreso, hindi pwede magbigay ang NTC ng provisional franchise. Only Congress can give a franchise.
Alam mo yung si Puno, nagre-lecture, kaya tinanong ko siya. Sinabi ko sa kanya, hindi ko sinabi yun na i-delegate nila ang kapangyarihan ng Kongreso to legislate. What I am saying is to give a power to your representative agency like NTC to deal with a situation like what is happening to ABS-CBN by granting a provisional time to maintain the status quo until Congress can act. Di ba yun eh?
That is...
hindi naman naintindihan ni Puno yun dahil hindi siya naging politiko.
Yes, sir. Sir, but is that a franchise? I mean, I suppose it's not a franchise. It's a permit? What would you call it then? Yung ibibigay sa NTC, yung ibibigay ng NTC kumbaga na...
It is a bureaucratic order granting the operating economic unit to continue operation until Congress or the Supreme Court or the President can act on the matter involved.
Oh, and that would suffice even without an existing franchise from Congress?
Ina-extend mo nga yung operation lang nila under their existing franchise. That is, if you authorize somebody to do that, that is an act of Congress itself.
Pero sir, in this case...
Delegate yung ahente nila yung NTC.
Yes, sir. Sorry, sir. Again, we're not lawyers. That's why we're minding your mind when it comes to this. So, sir, kasi in this case nga, nag-expire na yung existing franchise nung May 4. So there is no franchise to talk about right now. So the next step, if we follow this, the next step would be for Congress to amend the charter of the NTC. Tama ba?
I don't know. They will have to, not to amend, they have to produce a new law. Oh, they could write a new law, and they have to write a new law.
That gives NTC the power to...
And then, no. They cannot give it in that franchise. It must be a general law, and it must be done in the law that created NTC, not the law that gave the franchise to ABS-CBN. Mahirap turuan yung ayaw matuto eh.
I was wondering, sir, kasi kahapon parang nung binanggit niyo yan, parang nabitawan na yung idea. So hindi na napursu.
Ay, alam nila na alam nila na may remedyo na iba.
Okay. But have you talked to anybody else about this? I mean, aside from your bringing it up in the Senate hearing?
No. I'm not talking to anybody. I was just invited to participate yesterday. No, I'm no longer active in these things, but to help, I accepted that I will participate. Eh, yung si Puno at saka si Nilon, sinasabi nila, linalabo nila yung sinabi ko na ang gusto ko daw i-delegate ng Kongreso yung power to grant a franchise. I did not say that. I'm not stupid. I can teach you law, but you cannot teach me.
Perpetually
galing
sharp
ni
si
galing ni
Senator
Sir.
Enrile. Sir, kamusta kayo? How do you spend your time these days? Kasi the last time we talked to you, I think it was 2 years ago, you were saying
Matagal
na you memorized the lines of Omar Khayyam sa Rubayat. 110
I am-
quatrains.
And Maricel, I'm reading. In fact, before I pick up the phone, I was reading books about what's
Wow.
going on the planet, including our country. I have never stopped. I can discuss with you this planet.
Wow. Kaya
Okay.
sharp pa rin talaga si Senator Enrile. Pero
Huwag na tayo
manghuli
dumayo
na lang, on a lighter note, sir, ano daw ba yung secret mo? How do you keep yourself strong and healthy, especially now na may crisis?
Oh, in time of
We're
pandemic.
interested.
Well, no love affairs. One thing.
Sir, that's very healthy.
Just exercise every day. Be under the sun every day. And no worries, no pressures, no mental and physical pressure.
Yun.
Sir, if you don't mind, you're 96, if I remember right?
I'm 97.
Sorry,
Wow,
mathematics na mali.
97.
97.
And still
Yeah,
sharp.
I can. You refer to Rubayat of Omar Khayyam. I can recite it forward and backward.
Wow. Sir,
110 stanzas.
quatrains, yes sir. Sir, in Persian or in Edward Fitzgerald sa English translation?
Composed of 440 lines.
Ang galing. Sir.
Si Omar Khayyam is the Persian astronomer poet.
Na favorite
When
ni Sir
you and
ngayon.
I behind the veil are passed over, the long while the world shall last. Which
Oh,
of
yan
our
na.
coming and departure is as vast as ocean of a pebble cup.
Sir, mahaba yan, sir. Mahaba yan.
Sir, mahaba-haba yun eh.
Sige, sir. We'll let you go back to your reading, sir, this morning, and thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome anytime.
Maraming salamat po, former
Thank
Senator
you.
Juan Ponce Enrile, for joining us.
Grabe, ang galing pa rin
Pero
talaga ni
interesting-
Senator Enrile.
Interesting yung sinabi ni Enrile kahapon tsaka ngayon na may panukala siya to just empower NTC with the law from Congress for it to extend. He's not saying delegate the legislative franchise to NTC. He's saying NTC can be given the power to extend operations. And that will be faster and less messier daw than rushing a franchise for 25 years.
Yun yung sinasabi kanina ni Senator Enrile na gumawa sila ng bagong law. Oo. Kasi for now, wala namang power na ganun si NTC.
Yun lang, hindi lang napurso kahapon eh. So it might be an interesting thing to look at. Lalo na ngayon kung nangangalag yung ABS-CBN.
Yeah. Oy, batiin natin uli yung mga nakikinig sa atin sa nanonood sa Facebook. Si Ruwelin Odruna, jumuduty daw siya bilang nurse midwife sa Makati. O kasama pala ito sa mga frontliners. Si Orlando Bonacua, everyday watcher daw siya from Legazpi City. Si Red Julian, watching from Baliwag, Bulacan. At si Darwin Nebres, watching from Lapu-Lapu City. Happy watching din kina Carla Benedicto at si
Uy,
Rhoda
kilala ko to.
McNaye. Hi, Rhoda.
Rhoda.
Rhoda with a W. Rhoda. Yan. Tapos may follow-up comment si...
Ay, ikaw-
Ayan na!
Extortion na ginagawa mo.
Jojit Erseca. Sabi niya, sige niya, padadalan daw.
Hindi, Jojit, Jojit, wag na,
joke
wag na,
lang
wag na,
yun.
wag na, wag na. Sa akin mo na yung padala.
Ay. Talaga to.
Extortion yan.
Ayan eh. Oh, ako nga yung humirit eh. Ay, pero,
O siya, sige, sige.
Jojit, hello, salamat.
Uy, hindi ka namin pinipilit ha. Baka mamaya.
Oh, joke lang yun, Jojit ah. Joke lang.
Joke lang yun, but all jokes are half meant. Okay, tuloy-tuloy po ang ating special coverage ng 1PH sa COVID-19 sa aming pagbabalik.
May hirit pa rin talaga.
Nagbabalik po ang special coverage ng 1PH sa COVID-19 pandemic. Lockdown sa Ospital ng Malabon matapos magpositibo sa COVID-19 ang isang sinugod sa kanilang pasyente. Nagsinungaling daw ang pasyente kaya't hindi agad pinagsuspetsa ng mga doktor.
Yay, kaugnay niyan. Makakausap na po natin si Ginoong Bong Padua, Public Information Officer ng Malabon City. Magandang umaga po sa inyo, Sir Bong.
Hi, good morning po, Ma'am Maricel. Good morning po, Sir Ed.
Good morning po. Nakakagulat naman yung
Oo nga. Sir, ano nangyari? Saan ba nanggaling tong pasyente? So hindi siya naging honest doon sa ospital ng Malabon?
Tama po kayo. Kahapon po ng bandang alas 5 po ng umaga, dumating po yan, yung isang babae po, kasama po ang asawa niya, kasama ang nanay. Ito po ay kagad naman pong hinarap ng atin pong mga medical personnel sa ospital ng Malabon. Dahil po may emergency po, pero magkaganon po dahil po yung bata raw ay lumalabas na. Kaya pero magkaganon po man, natanong pa rin siya dahil alam niyo naman po ngayon, yung COVID problem natin, tinanong po siya kung taga saan siya, sinabi niya doon sa barangay 12 ng Caloocan at tinanong din siya kung na-expose siya sa COVID positive at marami pang mga tanong sa kanya. Pero dahil po emergency, kagad po siya dinala sa amin pong operating section sa second floor po ng Ospital ng Malabon at kaagad-agad po ay nanganak na po itong babae. Pero siyempre po, kagad po dahil nagsuspetsa po ng ating pong mga personnel doon, kagad po siyang, dahil galing po siya sa barangay 12 na, sa ngayon po, alam po naman natin na naka-lockdown po ngayon sa Caloocan, kagad po siyang ni-rapid test at ang naging resulta po ay positive.
Rapid test, sir, ang kinunan sa kanya. What made the doctors decide na kailangan niyang i-test? O requirement ba to? Kapag i-operahan?
Kasi po, galing po siya ng galing
sa
po siya
area.
ng barangay 12 ng Caloocan. Ito po ay boundary lamang po namin at dahil alam po naman natin na naka-lockdown po nga doon. So, iniisip ng ating mga medical personnel doon, exposed po siya sa COVID-19. Kaya po kagad siyang tinest ng rapid test at naging positive nga po.
Pero Sir Bong, ibig sabihin, initially hindi niya inaamin ang kanyang barangay na naka-lockdown, gano'n ba?
Inamin po niya na barangay 12 siya, pero dahil po emergency case po yun sa kanya, tinanong po rin siya kung na-expose siya sa may mga COVID positive.
Opo.
Nagsinungaling po siya, pero siyempre kailangan pong lumalabas na po yung bata. Inattendan muna yung kanyang pong problema, nanganak siya at dahil nalaman po namin na galing siya ng barangay 12, kagad po siyang tinest po na rapid test at yun nga po naging positive.
Opo.
So nasa na po ngayon yung nag-positive na nanganak at saka yung baby?
Ang ginawa po namin, right after po na matest siya, nakipag-ugnayan po kami doon po sa City Health Office po ng Caloocan at sa ngayon po ay sila na po ang namamahala sa ngayon at ang ginawa po naman namin doon po sa Ospital ng Malabon, yun pong second floor, buong second floor po kung saan nakikita po yung pedia section, OB-GYN section at saka yung operating unit section po sinarado po namin right after na ma-discharge po yung mayroon pong positive na babae nag-COVID positive. At meron po kaming pasyente po roon na isang nanganak, nandun po sa OB room at meron din po kaming isang naka-confine na bata, nandun po sa pedia room at yun po dinischarge na rin po namin. At ang buong second floor po ng Ospital ng Malabon ay nakasarado po ngayon, disinfect at Monday lang po kami magbubukas dun sa section na yon.
Okay. So halos isang linggo mag-shutdown yung area yun.
Ganun po. Sir, gaano kadami yung mga medical personnel na naapektuhan because of that patient na nagpunta dun sa ospital ng Malabon? I mean, yung mga naka-quarantine.
Marami-rami rin po dahil kahapon po, right after na nalaman namin na positive yung babae, kaagad po sinob yung pong 13 medical personnel po namin doon.
Oh.
At sa ngayon po hindi po sila mapasok, naka-quarantine sila sa kanilang bahay muna. At sa ngayon po mayroon din kami isa-swab test pa po na mga personal helper po doon. 5 po yung sinabi sa akin ni Dr. Santoco kanina at sa ngayon po yung swab test po sila.
Meaning, sir, yung, teka lang, linawin ko lang po, sir. So, yung Ospital ng Malabon, yung second floor lang po yung naka-lockdown, meaning nag-ooperate pa rin naman yung ibang mga areas ng ospital. I mean, ang bawal lang, yung pediatric section, yun lang yung naka-close.
Tama po kayo. Yung pong emergency po kasi namin na nasa baba, tumatanggap pa rin po kami. Emergency po, tumatanggap pa rin po kami ng mga dumarating na pasyente.
Sir Bong, siguro maganda paalalahanan natin yung mga tao na ano dapat yung mga protocol pagdating sa ganyan, pag kayo dadating sa ospital, what should you tell the doctors or the people attending?
Opo, ito po yung talagang problema po dahil dapat po sana ang atin po mga dumarating na mga pasyente po sa atin po mga hospital, hindi lamang po rito sa Ospital ng Malabon, kundi sa ibang hospital po dahil alam niyo naman po ngayon na harap po tayo sa problema ng COVID. Ang hirap po yung tayo magsisinungaling dahil yan pong sakit na COVID po ay nakakahawa. Kailangan po talagang ipagtapat natin kung tayo po ay na-expose sa COVID positive o kung ano man po para tayo hindi na po tayo makahawa.
So reminder po yan sa lahat ng lalabas at pupunta sa mga ospital. Ingat po tayo dahil baka makahawa tayo.
Right.
It's it's a civic responsibility.
Correct.
Okay, maraming salamat po. Si Bong Padua, ang PIO ng Malabon City. Good morning po.
Naalala ko tuloy si Senator Coco Pimentel. Hindi, kasi wala lang. Pumasok lang bigla sa isip ko.
Bakit kaya?
Oo. Naalala ko na siya bigla.
Okay, balikan po ulit natin yung iba pang mga pahayag ni Pangulong Duterte pagkatapos po ng IATF meeting kagabi. Kasama sa tinalakay niya ang Social Amelioration Program. Nireport naman ng DILG na nasa 97% ng tapos ang pamamahagi ng ayuda doon sa first tranche, sa first month. Pero may mga anomalyang na-monitor.
Kasama sa pinaiimbestigahan ang 183 kapitan ng barangay, habang 48 mayor ang pinagpapaliwanag dahil hindi nakaabot sa deadline. 2 naman ang naaresto at nakulong. Nakatakda ring ipaskil ang mga nakatanggap ng dobleng SAP para mahikayat silang isauli ito at mapakinabangan pa ng iba.
Magtipid tayo. Gusto natin na bigyan lahat. Ang problema ho, wala tayong kita. Alam mo naman ninyo, wala nagbabayad ng buwis for all of the months that we were under a lockdown or a quarantine. So, remember that we are short of tax collections. And kayo na ho umiintindi.
Nagpakita naman daw ng magandang resulta sa clinical trial ang isang dinedevelop na bakuna sa Amerika. Ayon sa biotech company na Moderna, nagpakita ng senyales na kayang i-neutralize ng na-develop nilang antibodies yung virus. Katulad daw ang antibodies na ito nang natagpuan sa blood samples na mga gumaling sa COVID-19.
Nabanggit ni Pangulong Duterte sa kanyang talumpati ang pag-develop ng bakuna ng Moderna. Pero natanggap daw niyang impormasyon sa susunod na taon pa ito magiging available.
Ito, Bok, nakapag-shopping ka na, nakatulong ka pa sa tinatatag na online shop ng isang fashion stylist.
Wow.
Shopping to, ha? Okay.
Oo.
Ang kinikita kasi, ipinambibili ng relief goods para sa kapos nating mga kababayan.
Kilalanin na natin ang nasa likod ng B-Style PH Shop for a Cause, si Beng Santos. Magandang umaga sa iyo, Miss Beng.
Hello, good morning, Miss Maricel and Sir Ed.
Good morning.
Thanks for having me.
Miss Beng, kwentuhan mo naman kami, paano ba nagsimula itong online na fashion shop mo?
Actually, our advocacy is Shop for a Cause. Since I'm a fashion stylist, so yung mga old, yung mga pre-loved clothes, and then fashion accessories, during ng mga shoots namin previously. So naisip namin na ibenta online. And it all started kasi na ang daming nagme-message sa akin, humihingi ng tulong because of nawalan ng trabaho dahil nga dun sa lockdown. So I decided na gamitin ko yung online store ko to raise a fund to help the community na affected by the COVID pandemic. So me and my friends, Aisa and Joanne, started donating some of our pre-loved luxury bags, clothes, and accessories. So last month, we had our 10-day sale wherein some of the pre-loved items were sold there. So yung lahat ng mga money na na-raise namin during the 10-day sale, we use it to purchase yung mga essentials like yung food, rice, canned goods, vitamins, and etc. So last Sunday, we had this activity, our chosen beneficiaries in the Barangay Santo Niño in San Mateo, Rizal, under the leadership of Barangay Captain George Huta. So I talked to them and then sabi ko kasi meron yang na-raise na funds. So initially our target was 50 families, but because there are a lot of people na gusto naman talagang tumulong and nag-donate doon sa Shop for a Cause, last Sunday we were able to distribute yung 75 relief goods to the 75 families. So ayun, because siguro dahil good intentions din, ang daming taong nag-help for me, especially kanila Miss Daniel Laurel na who consistently promoting our campaign sa mga social media accounts nila. So marami kaming na-raise na funds. So because naging successful yung activity namin last Sunday, we're planning na next month ulit, we will have a 10-day sale again para dun sa mga luxury items namin. So yung makukuha naman namin ng money doon, we're planning naman to buy yung mga individually packed meals para dun sa mga frontliners natin sa mga in some certain checkpoint area.
Baka maraming gusto mag-donate ng ano. Yung mga
Luxury bags.
Yung mga luxury bags ko.
Wow, yung mga dinaig mo pa ako, Buk. Meron kang luxury bags.
Luxury backpacks.
Yung mga friends ko din kasi very generous na in donating some of their, hindi naman doon kasi nila nagagamit, so might as well, di ba? I-donate na lang din natin for them para at least makatulong kahit pa paano. And of course, sa dami siguro ng na-collect ko na damit from kanila, Miss Lucy, sa mga damit ng One News, sila Miss Sean, Miss Danny, Miss Riza. Kaya siguro I think that would be enough para makatulong talaga sa kanila.
Diba?
So,
mga Louis Vuitton.
Louis Vuitton. Yung pala yung collection ni Bok eh.
Louis Vuitton.
So, ano yung
Louis
pwede nilang i-check na mga account, Facebook account if they want to help you? Ano yung pwede nilang i-check?
Yes, they can reach me through my Instagram account, yung bstylesph, and also dun sa Style by Beng. I can help them and then I can send them yung mga link kung saan sila pwede mag-donate nung mga items na gusto nila for the charity.
Hindi, kasi baka some people might want to do it the way you're doing it na they give you their stuff so you can sell it online so that you can collect money to buy kaya ginawa ninyo to buy relief goods. Baka some people would also want to do it that way. Diba? Kasi some people may not have any use for some items na clothes na luxury Baka mas kailangan nila yung relief goods talaga
Yeah, oo. So yung mga na-release namin na money for the talaga relief goods. Ayaw din kasi namin magbigay ng in cash, baka kung saan mapunta, di ba?
Mapariban yan.
Yeah.
Di ba ganun daw yung ginagamit ko sa SAP? Pinang-riban.
Oo, di ba? Kaya,
Oo.
siyempre mas important yung mga essentials ngayon dahil, di ba, daming nawalan ng work. So, kaya, ayun. They can reach me through my Instagram account. It's B-Style CH, or they can call me at 0917-584-6017.
But do you already
Their
have
donation.
a timetable or a date for your next online sale para yung mga gustong humabol at mag-donate para ibenta dun sa
Maabangan.
online sale mo makahabol?
Yes, we usually do it on the 10th day. So maybe next month, June 10, yung start ng ng 10-day sale. So up to June 17. So June 10 to June 20. So that's a 10-day sale. And then after that, lahat ng mga ma-raise naming money, we'll be able to to siguro purchase yung mga individually packed meals naman for the front lines in the checkpoint area.
Ayun. Maganda.
O yung mga
Ayun naman yung next na project. So nung Sunday, relief goods. So yung next month naman, we're planning to give naman yung mga individually packed meals. Yes.
Yung mga Gucci mo, mga Gucci.
Gucci. Wala akong mga Gucci eh. Ikaw may inaabang ako mag-donate. Ano ba yung mga luxury?
Ano luxury?
Wala nga ako pambiling luxury
Mukha ba akong-
items.
But discounted price dapat pagka syempre, di ba?
Oo.
Pero there are some things kasi that, there, kahit naman hindi luxury, I suppose, there are some things that people
yes.
also
And
look
Want
for
to
na hindi luxury
donate.
naman eh.
Yan.
Oo, that
Oo.
may
Na
be able to
maganda,
help out.
maayos pa, pwedeng benta doon para makatulong din pambili ng relief goods.
Anything that they want to donate, diba? It's not
Okay. Beng, again, for them to get in touch with you, they go to your Instagram. Is that
Instagram.
how it works?
yeah. Yes.
B-Style PH. Is that correct?
Yes.
B-Style
Yeah,
PH sa
that's
Instagram. So mag-message. Ganun ba yun sa Instagram? May message sa Instagram, no?
Oh, may message
Yeah,
sa Instagram. Naku, mag-IG ka na, Book. Para ang ganda-ganda kaya doon, no? Updated ka. Pati mga sinusundan ko yung mga showbiz personalities doon. Oh.
Okay, sige. Naserman pa ako. Okay, sige.
Di ba? O, so pwede mag-send doon. Okay.
Okay, maraming salamat. Si
Maraming
Beng Santos.
salamat.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for inviting me here.
Thank you. Yun naman pala. Okay, speaking of luxury, eto, level up naman ang face mask sa Africa. Para mag-match sa outfit, gumawa ang isang fashion designer ng gold face mask na may diamante at iba pang jewels.
Ilang negosyo raw ang na-inspire din gumawa ng sarili nilang fashionable face masks. Excuse me. Sa pamamagitan daw nito, safe ka na, plakado pa ang iyong forma. Ano isip ng plakado?
Plakado, swabe yung forma. Pero parang ang hirap naman nun, diamante yung nakalagay dun sa face mask. Kung dito yung matatakot ako, baka ma-hold up ako.
Oo. Lalo na ngayon, kulang-kulang yung SAP.
Di ba? Nakakatakot. Oh.
May magandang face mask na feature natin kagabi. Hindi ba ipa-play nila ngayon?
Anong face
Yung
mask?
naiyak si Cheryl Cosim dahil
Kasi-
sa kakatawa.
Bakit? Ano itsura?
Okay, sige.
Okay.
Mamaya. Papakita na mamaya. Pero maganda.
mamaya.
Yun talaga yun ang practical na face mask.
Bakit? Anong nangyari?
Mamaya makikita mo.
Sige,
Abangan niyo
surprise
mamaya.
ba?
Inahabol nila ngayon eh. Suwabing-suwabe siya. Buk, talagang ako, dapat naisip to ng mga Pilipino noon pa.
Talaga?
Oo,
So, nais ko pa tayo doon, di natin agad naisip.
Oo. Hindi ito.
Hindi ito.
Ano yung nakalagay dyan? Yung
Iba yan.
CA.
Oo. Iba-ibang color. Ito yung diamante. Oh. Di ba? Hindi ba mabigat yan? Lalagay mo sa mukha mo, puro diamante. Mga jewelry, oh.
Tsaka ura-urada, binibilang mo kung ilan pa diamante nakakabit
Baka mamaya may bala.
Yan.
Wow!
Di ba? Pakita mo ulit.
Oo nga. Ibang
di ba?
klase naman pala. Pwede ka na direktang kumain. Ang galing nitong mask na to,
May remote control pa, oh.
Pang-open. Gaano ba ka-effective yan? Pero parang ang hirap naman.
Yun,
Ano? Ibang klase itong mask
Hindi ka Pilipino
na
nakaisip
to.
nito? Baka Pilipino nakaisip nito? Dali,
Para,
ipapatent na natin. Dali.
oo nga, kaso dumidikit din dun sa, yung bibig yung
Israel.
sa
Aba, itong mga Israeli talaga ang gagaling. Kung hindi nuclear weapons, face mask.
Oo, very good tong Israel, kakaiba.
Sila yung chosen people talaga.
Oo nga, ibang level to.
Di naisip yun, no? Okay. Okay. Oh, moving on. Kumakunin na tayo eh. Okay, sa Brazil naman po, dumami ang gustong mag-adapt ng mga abandonadong hayop sa Brazil sa gitna po ng COVID-19 pandemic. Simula po noong Abril, 53 mga alagang hayop na mula sa Rio de Janeiro Animal Shelter ang nabigyan ng bagong tahanan sa ilalim po ng pet delivery campaign.
Bago ihatid ang hayop, kinakapon, binabakunahan at nilalagyan ng mga ito ng identification chip. Malaking tulong daw ang adopted pets para mabawasan ang stress na dulot ng lockdown. Ay, pero totoo naman yun. Nakakatanggal naman talaga ng stress yung mga pets, no? At saka parang mas miss na miss ka nila kapag lumalabas kaysa doon sa asawa mo.
Ay, may hugot to.
Diba? Nakita mo yung excitement nila kapag dadating sa bahay, ibang level. Diba? Ikaw, niyayapos ka nila, hinahalikan ka ng mga alagang aso. Yun lang naman yung point.
Gusto bigyan kita ng pala?
Pala? Bakit?
Humuhukay ka ng libingan mo eh.
Salbahe talaga to. Kapon pa ako inaaway nito. Pero hindi, ang point ko lang doon. Masaya talaga may
Hindi
pet.
pa siya tapos. Hukay pa. Sige, hukay pa.
Yun lang yung point. O, eto na nga, bago
Sige,
tayo
sige.
magtapos, pinapaalala lang po namin
Sinimula
na
na yung
ulit.
hukay mo eh.
Bago pa lumalim ng husto yung hukay, eto po yung reminder namin. Sarado po yung action center ni Raffy Tulfo dito sa TV5 Reliance.
Oo nga po. Kasi hanggang kahapon, ang daming tao nakapila sa labas. Pero buti ngayon, kanina umaga,
Parang
papasko,
wala
wala
na.
na yun.
Oo.
Okay. Para po sa inyong kaligtasan, huwag munang magtungo at pumila doon sa labas ng aming opisina. Pero maaari po kayo mag-message ng inyong panawagan at reklamo sa Raffy Tulfo in Action Facebook page. Yung official Facebook page po.
Yun. And ito yung mga pahabol natin na greetings. Happy 4th birthday kay Uzia Christiel Dineros. Hello din kay Kenneth Azarcon. Pinapabati niya yung kanyang pamilya sa Dasmariñas, Cavite. Sosi Matohong watching from Sabah,
Sabah,
Malaysia. Noel Ilagan watching from Pasig, kapitbahay.
Okay, yan po ang 2 oras nating talakayan ngayong umaga tungkol po sa COVID-19 pandemic. Ako po si Ed Lingao.
At ako naman po si Maricel Halili. Tutok lang dito sa 1PH Signal Channel 1, pati sa news5.com.ph at sa Facebook page ng 1PH para palagi kayong updated sa COVID-19.
So stay safe at stay at home mga kapatid.